Hey everyone, welcome back to Rewind and React. I'm Adam El Tarhuni.
And I'm Rob Fine. And today we are introducing something a little different, a brand new episode format we are calling One Shot.
One Shot is where we talk about an artist that might not have a ton of great music videos we could break down in a full episode, but they do have that one video that hit the mainstream and made a major impact.
And instead of letting those videos fall through the cracks, we decided they deserved their shot too. So buckle up. It is quick, it is focused, and it is a celebration of those iconic videos that help define an artist's career.
Let's get into today's One Shot pick. We are going to talk about a classic from the 90s, Natalie Imbruglia's Torn. Rob, you want to take us to the video?
I will. Yes, the music video for Torn is simple yet clever. It features Natalie in a modest apartment singing the song directly to the camera. Around her, an apparent romantic partner interacts with her in what seems like fragments of a blossoming relationship. However, as the video progresses, you see that the walls and the floor of the apartment are flimsy set pieces, and the camera occasionally pulls back to reveal a film crew, director, and equipment, making it clear that the apartment is just a soundstage. The real interactions between Natalie and the actor start to blur with the acted ones, playing into the song's emotional themes, with outside forces such as the crew redirecting their actions, adjusting their hair, and interrupting intimate moments. As the crew disassembles the set, Natalie keeps singing a song to the camera through the end of the video.
Yeah, this was a kind of a cool video, and I know Natalie Imbruglia. We've heard this song tons of times on the radio. I've actually never seen the whole video. I've seen bits and pieces. I knew it was a video with like a single camera in this apartment, but do you remember this video well the first time you saw it?
Oh yeah, I remember seeing this one a lot. This was kind of in the heyday of MTV for me. So yeah, this came on quite a bit. And there's a lot at work here, but overall what I remember as a child is, wow, she is really pretty. Like something about that face, it catches you right away. And I guess she was like a model and an actress before she went into music. So it makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So I learned about her doing the research on this episode, and she's an Australian actress, and she was on that show, this soap opera called Neighbours. And for anyone unfamiliar, Neighbours is like a very famous Australian soap opera that's been around forever. It looks like this is how everyone in Australia becomes big. Russell Crowe is on it, Kylie Minogue, Margot Robbie. This is like I guess the show for everyone in Australia. And I'm sure Australia has more shows, but this is the one. And yeah, I learned that she was part of Neighbours. She wanted to do a music career, and then she moved into this.
So it's like their version of Days of Future Past or Days of Our
Days of
Lives.
Our Lives. Yeah, or like General Hospital or any of those kind of soap operas. And I'm sure there's more than one Australian soap opera, but this was like the famous one. This is, yeah, the one that everyone was part of.
Very cool.
Yeah, so Natalie Imbruglia's had a career after this, more albums, but this one was such a unique video. And what did you like about it?
So yeah, honestly, looking back when we talked, discussed doing this video, I remember the video on MTV, mostly just her looks. And I remember, as I recalled, it was just like a one shot of her like singing to the camera. Coming back to watch it again, I'm glad it wasn't that, because there's actually a lot going on here. You just think it's her with this guy. I don't think they ever place a name on him, but he comes in and then suddenly they're stopped, like a director or somebody comes in and adjusts where somebody's standing. So it's cool that there's a lot that you could take away from this. Like it's about a person realizing, on the surface, a person realizing the love that they believed in wasn't real. And then that video kind of uses the illusion of a romantic setting, and then it deconstructs it right before our eyes. The moments when the director and the crew walk in, giving instructions, adjusting Natalie's hair, moving props around. The way I see it, it's, outside pressures of whether it's just society or, something's going on at work. You have something else in your life that constantly interrupts that perfect fantasy that you can build around love. It's not just between two people, but it's often influenced by those external forces as well.
You kind of hit it on the nail there. I thought when I first picked this video, I was like, well, let's see if it's any good because I remember it, but I don't remember it that well. And there's two fake out moments. First of all, she's going into the apartment and the boyfriend comes in, and then you all of a sudden see the crew, like you said, the director coming in and like rearranging them and things like that. And you're like, okay, this is very interesting. We're actually not watching a music video per se. We're watching them make a music video or make this scene. And then the whole part of the song where the earth, it looks like an earthquake. I was like, oh, what's going on here? And then you realize, wait, this is another twist on the video. They are on a soundstage and they're tearing it apart right around her. And like you said, it's a good metaphor, I think, for the relationship and things that are falling apart and things that are happening. But it's such a more complicated video that they could do with a single camera shot than I would have ever expected from like this era of videos, especially from someone who only, this was like her first big video, and having that
Yeah, yeah,
creativity, I guess, to make such a video that's so different than person singing and dancing along to this song.
yeah, absolutely. Like when the walls and the furniture are revealed to be just flimsy props, that kind of symbolizes how the relationship isn't built on anything solid. And what looked like something real turned out to be fake and unstable, just like she's singing about. And I love how she keeps singing as the illusion falls apart. Like at the end, they're deconstructing everything, and that's when she's really just dancing and singing. Not really dancing, but vibing and singing with the camera. And it's like when a relationship is broken and it is falling apart. Sometimes people keep performing, pretending that everything's going to be okay. That you could still piece this together, right?
And it's cool because there are scenes where her boyfriend's played by an actor, Jeremy Sheffield. He's getting his hair done and she's standing there. And then there's a scene where she's getting her hair done and he's standing there. And it's like a little bit of that relationship where someone's getting a little more focus or attention. And you just have to sit there and wait. And what's the real part of this relationship and how is it going to really work out?
Yeah. Something I learned about Jeremy Sheffield. He was a professional ballet dancer, but he got an injury, forced him into acting, and now we all know him for being in this video.
Yeah, well, he's also in some kind of TV show, but I'll go back to that ballet dancer thing because I don't know how tall ballet dancers should be, but he's really tall. And in this video, when they're doing
Yeah.
his hair, if you watch, like he's kind of squatting because he's too tall for the camera frame. And they're probably just like, okay, how can we do this fix your hair scene without you being out of frame? And he has to squat. And I'm like, wow, he is really tall. And she might be really short. I actually don't know her height, but you can definitely feel that.
Yeah, I agreed. Yeah, he seems to tower over her. Yeah, I don't know if she's just really short or he's just a giant ballet dancer. But I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Going back to kind of the soundstage breaking apart because as a kid and as you're watching it for the first time, you just think it's some house, right? You don't realize how elaborate sound stages can be. And when they really take the top of the stairs off and then the bottom of the stairs is like revealed, and then the background that's just a piece of painting or a picture, it's really cool as a viewer because you really are seeing the illusion torn apart, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'll speak about the dancing because she said in the interview she's actually a professional dancer, or she's trained as in dancing. And so when she decided to dance, she wanted to make it look like someone who didn't know how to dance. So it's intentionally bad in that sense, where she's just like, I'm going to flop my arms around and spin around because I don't want to look too professional for this video.
Oh, it's fun. Yeah. Tagging off that, they gave her a book of designers to choose from for what she would wear in the video. And she ended up just wearing her own clothes that she'd had sitting in her closet for a while. So, yeah, kind of fun that she wanted to make sure she didn't look like she was a dancer. She wasn't supposed to be a supermodel here.
Yeah. And also, I feel like in women's 90s fashion, I don't know as much about, but I think she really did help like solidify a lot of 90s fashion in that time period. Grunge set off that whole casual kind of frumpy style. And not to say she was frumpy, but it's just like you're in a very comfortable outfit. And I feel like she really pushed that for the video and for like fashion at the time where you don't have to be in this kind of really tight outfits or crop tops or anything like that.
Yeah, it's cool that you say that because I watched a video of her talking about this video, and she mentioned that she wanted to make sure it wasn't like a silhouette of her showing off her physique. She wanted it to be a relatable girl next door look.
Yeah, and it works out really well. And, you mentioned the scene where we get a real big close up on her face. I thought that was really well done. And also, like, I don't know how the quality was back then, but you can see her nose hairs in this HD version, right? Like, they really get a good close up of her. And again, she's just right there, front and center, kind of going into this relationship that's falling apart.
Yeah. Something else I learned, this is a cover song. Edna Swap was the original artist in 1995, but nowhere near as big as Natalie's version.
And it's funny if I looked up the history of kind of other bands have done this cover, and there was a Danish singer called Liz Sorensen that did this song it's called Burnt in her version. And then there was an American Norwegian singer, Trin Rain, that also did this song. So good song, well written, and a lot of artists have adopted it.
Yeah, great song.
I also like the final scene where I like it, except I'm going to say YouTube, of course, does what YouTube does. But there's the
Mhm.
final scene where it's no sound and they're looking at the camera straight on. Of course, Jeremy's head is blocked because of the YouTube next video, but it's a cool because you get them full on and really just like front and center of telling you, here's what we are.
For our newer listeners, we are once again pleading with YouTube to give us an option to stop the end plates at the end of music videos. When they're covering up content, we can't see what's going on.
Exactly. I also mentioned the director Alison McLean. She's done episodes of Sex and the City, The Tudors. She's a Canadian New Zealand director. One of the things she said, and Natalie had input on this, is she wanted more of a filmy like music video and less of just kind of generic stuff. So she had a little bit of input, and I believe Allison had this idea for this concept of just kind of the one shot and everything falling apart. So again, well done. Kudos. Like they really knocked it out of the park as probably one of the most memorable videos maybe of 1997. And, we've done a 1997 episode. This didn't fit into the cut, but this was definitely a good one.
Yeah. Cool thing about this, it got a ton of airplay on MTV and VH1 when it first came out. It was one of the most played songs in the US radio that year. However, it never actually charted on Billboard because they had very weird eligibility rules about how releases had to come out. And so it never even went on a Billboard chart.
That's funny because I think if this came out now, Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, they would put it right at the top.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No problem.
Yeah, just weird Billboard rules. And my last little note on it, Natalie, in that talking about this song 30 years later, said that it's something that she still loves singing at concerts. She goes to see other musicians, and there's always some song that made them huge that they've had to play at every single event they go to. And they always comment how like they're sick of playing this song. And she's like, no, not for me. This song, like I could sing it every day. I still love it, and I'm glad that the fans still want to hear it.
And I do think, I mean, the song has a lot of replayability. It is a classic, right? I mean, I feel like every generation, for the most part, knows this song or has heard of this song.
Oh yeah, I think so. I don't know. Maybe we're a little old now, but I think the kids still know it.
Well, I'll say this. I went to music trivia bingo the other day, and one of the categories was 90s hits. This was not on any of my bingo cards, but we had a group next to us, and they probably were in their like early 20s, mid 20s maybe, and they were singing along to all these 90s songs. So I think, again, 90s are back, but the kids, they love it.
That's awesome. Do
Sorry.
you think she'll ever have a hit that tops this one?
Well, I don't know if she'll have one that tops this one, but she wasn't quite a one-hit wonder, but she's had other music. And I think it's just, again, this is the reason we do this podcast, right? The music videos make such a difference and there's such a kind of mini work of art. And if she could probably capture something like that again, there's a high possibility.
I could see it. I don't know. I'm torn.
You just set me up for a bad joke. I should have
I just
known.
say it for a good joke, and then you like went off on like a nice like tangent that was like really introspective.
Well, that's just because I really want people to make more music, or more good music videos, so we have more to talk about.
Yes.
I'm going to cap off with one of our favorite trivia games, and we're going to call this one for you, Rob. I hope you're ready. Natalie or Natalie? So I am going to cover two 90s stars, Natalie Imbruglia, as we just talked about, and Natalie Merchant. I don't know if you remember Natalie Merchant, know any of her songs.
10,000
Oh,
Maniacs.
yes, exactly.
That's about as much as I know about Natalie Merchant.
Okay, perfect. Well, then this should be pretty fun for us and
All right.
hopefully the listeners. So I'll start with the easy one. This Natalie was born in Sydney, Australia in 1975.
Oh, Imbruglia.
Perfect. And I've actually learned it's Imbruglia. I had to look on Wikipedia. I guess the G is silent.
I heard you say that at the beginning, and I was like, have I been saying it wrong this entire time? I guess so.
I have to, so no worries. Okay. This Natalie, her most recent studio album was released in 2023.
Imbruglia.
Oh, man, Natalie Merchant. Although Imbruglia has been making albums, and I think she had a recent one within the past like 5 or 10 years. So both still active artists.
All right.
How about this one? So this Natalie began studying at Jamestown Community College and got her start in music through a college radio station.
Oh man, Jamestown sounds like an Australian thing. I don't even know where Merchant's from. I'm gonna say Imbruglia for this one.
Oh, Natalie Merchant again.
Oh no.
This is a tough one, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can help out. Okay, this Natalie became a naturalized British citizen in 2013.
Oh. So I think Merchant is American. I think. Oh man. All right. I hate to keep saying her name over and over again, but I'm gonna go Imbruglia.
You got it right. You're
All
on a
right.
roll. Well, you're on a one question roll. Okay, how about this one? This Natalie briefly dated David Schwimmer in the 90s.
Oh wow, man. So Torn always felt like a very Friends kind of song, so I'm instantly drawn to that. But which would Imbruglia have come to America during her big hit days? Probably, right? Like she's blowing up on MTV. Is she still
Yeah,
on
would you make it
Neighbors?
in
Probably not on
America?
Neighbors. I'm gonna go Merchant for this one.
You're on a one-hit roll. No, Natalie Imbruglia.
Ah, dang.
All right, just a couple more. I feel like our number one listener, Emily, will be very saddened by your results, Rob. But
Yeah.
let's see if we can get you a few wins here. This Natalie
Yeah.
released an album titled Male in 2015, featuring covers of songs originally performed by male artists.
Oh, that sounds like Merchant. No.
Sorry. Imbruglia.
Uh,
Okay, let's see if we can. Here we go. This one should be helpful. She played a Bond girl style role opposite Rowan Atkinson in the 2003 film Johnny English.
oh, that's got to be Imbruglia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Finally. So I think we were two for whatever
Yeah.
on this one. But I mean, it's tough. I mean, Natalie Merchant had a lot of hits. They were around the same time. Actually, 10,000 Maniacs, I learned, were like big in the 80s or came out in the 80s.
Yeah.
So
They were weirdly outside of my what I used to listen to. I was aware of them, and then I remember she did her solo album, Merchant did, and I just generally didn't pay attention to her at all. It wasn't in my wheelhouse of what I was listening to at the time.
awesome. Well, Rob, thanks for covering this episode one shot. For listeners, feel free to, like and subscribe, come back, and we'll be releasing more.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. I already used my outro joke.
I guess you're torn on an outro.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
See you guys.